Hi, and welcome. My name is Paula Sturm, and I'm a functional medical nutritionist and a registered dietitian and a master NLP coach. And today I want to share a tip on hydration and how important it is. Oftentimes, we don't give water enough credit in its benefits and what it can actually do for our health. So, I want to share a little presentation to highlight those benefits. So, let me share my screen and go into presentation mode. Okie dokie. There we go. All right, so I have a nice little presentation here outlining hydration and its cornerstone for health. And a couple goals here. We're going to talk about 8 benefits of water. So there's quite a few benefits. So if you only thought it just hydrated you, there's more to that hydration. And how can dehydration impact your health? And then how much water should you be drinking? And did you know that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? And by the time you feel thirsty, you are already dehydrated. And about 60% of the human body is water, and our bones are actually 31% water. So if we think that our bones are actually just calcium and they're super dry and brittle, that's not the case. We have water in our bones. We also have protein in our bones. Athletes can perspire 6 to 10% of their body weight during physical activity. So if you work out or sweat a lot for your job or while you're working out, really pay attention to your hydration because that's a lot of body weight. So here are some factors that actually impact your hydration. The environment that you're living in, if it's a hot, humid environment, if it's a cold environment, or if it's a hot and dry environment like the desert, your activity level, whether you're breastfeeding or not, and your health status. So certain health conditions will require more water. These factors may require you to drink more water than your typical recommendation. So we pay attention to those as well and factor those in when we're making our calculations. So here's some effects of fluid loss. So if you lose 2 to 3% of your body water or water loss, that impairs your endurance. So if you're looking to go for a long run and you're dehydrated before you start that run, you can bet that run's not going to be very productive. You're going to feel really lethargic and it's going to impact your endurance and you might not be able to go as long as you would like. If you lose 3% body water loss, your metabolism reduces. So if you have a weight loss goal, you better make sure you're staying on top of your water because if you're dehydrated, your metabolism is going to go down. If you have 4% body water loss, your strength starts to decline. So if you're a big power lifter or do strength activities or your work requires strength, you better make sure you're hydrated. Otherwise, your strength is going to decline. And if you lose 5% of your body water, you are looking at heat exhaustion. So if you're living in whether it's a hot, dry or a hot, humid environment, you better make sure you're maintaining your hydration. Otherwise, you're looking at some heat exhaustion and going to the hospital. Here are some benefits of water. It helps regulate your body temperature. So dehydration equals elevated body temperature. So if you struggle with temperature regulation or you're feeling hot a lot, really make sure you're drinking your water. So losing water through sweating can cause dehydration as well as loss of electrolytes. Electrolytes are things like potassium and sodium. Drink more water before, during, and after exercise, and especially if you're in hot climates to help regulate your body temperature. Water actually helps protect your joints and reduces perceived pain. 80 to 80% of joint collagen is made of water. So the little things that are in between our joints, the little bubbles there that are help cushion our joints, they're made of water. They need water there. And if we're dehydrated, that water goes down. And so if we have joint issues already and we're losing some of that cartilage already and then we're dehydrated, it's going to make it worse. So really making sure that we're drinking water if we have any joint issues or want to avoid joint issues. Dehydration reduces the volume of that cartilage and reduces its cushioning effect. Water actually aids in proper digestion. It prevents constipation and helps break down food. So we need water in order to digest, absorb, break our food down. If we have any digestive issues, we really want to make sure we're looking at hydration as our first step to help alleviate those things, because oftentimes it's just a dehydration issue. And if we're eating a fiber-rich diet, we need more water. Fiber in the diet needs water to expand and keep bowel movements healthy. So that fiber absorbs the water, expands in our colon, creates osmotic pressure, and helps facilitate healthy bowel movements. Water facilitates proper breakdown of food, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and this equals better absorption of those items. And water helps absorb vitamins and minerals effectively. So we really want to make sure we're maintaining our hydration to facilitate digestion. It also helps improve your metabolism, can help with weight and fat loss. Better metabolism equals better energy levels. So if you're running a little lethargic or you're fatigued in the afternoon, have you had enough water for that day so far? Because that might be impacting your energy levels. So really pay attention to that. Maybe reach for a glass of water before you reach for something caffeinated or for some sugar. Drinking enough water facilitates efforts of dieting on weight loss, and one study showed drinking 500 milliliters of water boosted metabolism by 30%. So if weight loss is your goal and you're not staying on top of your water, this is your first thing that you want to do. A really easy first thing to do is just make sure you have a bottle of water near you and drink frequently. Even start your morning out with a good 16 ounces of water. You're dehydrated at night. It's good to wake up first thing in the morning and get a good hydration right away. Water also helps support physical activity and performance and can improve your strength, power, and endurance. Negative effects of dehydration during exercise can lead to decreased blood pressure, hyperthermia, seizure, and even death. Water also may fight off certain illnesses, and it's a simple tool to ward off diseases. It helps with constipation, kidney stones, exercise-induced asthma, UTIs, hypertension or blood pressure issues, coronary heart disease, and bronchopulmonary disorders or lung issues. So if you have asthma or any other lung issues, staying hydrated is really important for warding off these diseases. It also helps aid in cognitive function and helps improve your mood, short-term memory, and focus. So if you're running a little lethargic and your memory is starting to flux during the afternoon and you can't concentrate on what you're doing, are you hydrated? Have you had enough water for the day? Dehydration really does impact that memory, focus, and alertness, and dehydration may impact fatigue, anxiety, and confusion. So if you suffer from any of those things, evaluate your water intake. And water helps keep your skin vibrant and promotes collagen production. And collagen is very necessary for the structure of your skin and for your joints. So water and hydration helps keep skin plump and helps skin collagen production. And a lot of us, especially as we get into our 40s and 50s, are looking to boost up that collagen production. So how much water do you actually need? Here are some guidelines. My favorite is to take half of your body weight in ounces of water each day. So if you weigh 140 pounds, divide it by 2, that's 70 ounces per day. 200 pounds divided by 2 is 100 ounces per day. And then take into consideration, do you sweat a lot from physical activity? Do you have a job that you're working outside and you're in that intense heat? You'll want to add 15 to 25 ounces depending on how long of duration you're outside or how long your physical activity is. So pay attention to that. And another way to measure this is according to the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, general water intake from all beverages and food, which sometimes can be really hard to measure. That's why I use this simple calculation above that meets most people's needs are 15.5 cups or 125 ounces for men and 11.5 cups or 91 ounces for women. People get about 20% of their water intake from food if you're eating a lot of vegetables and fruit. If you're not eating a lot of those and you're eating more processed foods, refined foods, carbohydrates, and proteins, you probably aren't getting enough of that water intake from your food. So take that into consideration. And you may need to add water based on physical activity and heat. Another way to look at it is to aim for pale yellow colored urine to assess your hydration. Here are some tips for optimal hydration. Hydration tips: eat foods rich in water, like watermelon, cucumber, cantaloupe, raw bell peppers, and tomatoes. Consume foods with water as the main ingredient, like soups, fruit, ice pops, tea, seltzer water, beverages that don't contain sugar or artificial sweeteners. Infuse flavor in your water. A lot of people don't really love the taste of water, although if you get a good filter, oftentimes it does improve the taste. You could add citrus wedges, fresh mint, peppermint, rosemary, thyme, any of those flavored or fresh herbs into your water. Cucumber, maybe doing a little cucumber, lemon, mint water, fresh fruit like watermelon, strawberries, and raspberries, or you can try a combination of different things. And they do actually make different water bottles that have infusers in the center, so you can infuse your water that way. Drink a full glass of water as soon as you get up. Schedule consistent hydration breaks throughout the day. If you need to, if water is really your struggle, set a timer to drink some water every hour. Stack this habit of drinking water each time you get up from your desk or from work, before you eat a meal, when you go for a walk, whenever you're standing up. Grab some water, take a good slug of water, and try loading a water drinking app on your phone. They actually have apps for that now. You can carry an eco-friendly water bottle with you always, have one with you in the car, take a refillable water bottle with you when you travel. I like ones from Clearly Filtered that have a filter right in the bottle with a straw, so you can fill it up from anywhere and drink filtered water. And don't wait until you're thirsty to drink. Thirst is a signal of dehydration. Stay ahead of dehydration by drinking water frequently throughout the day, especially important in children and the elderly, as their signals aren't always accurate for hydration. Pay attention to the weather. If it's hot and or dry outside, you will lose more water that needs to be replaced. You'll need more water on these days. Pay attention to physical activity levels, as this can significantly increase your need for water and sodium. So especially if you're working out for longer than 60 minutes, then you'll want to consider adding some electrolytes. Less than 60 minutes of low to moderate intensity activity, drink water before, during, and after exercise. That should be good enough. Healthy sports drinks that contain 6 to 8% carbohydrates are good options for greater than 60 minutes of high intensity activities. So people who are playing soccer for long days, or doing long marathons or long bike rides, those are the people that might need more of the carbohydrate and electrolyte drinks. For high sodium losses during exercise, those that sweat a lot, have long duration exercise, consume salty foods prior, or salt or add salt to sports drinks to drink during regular activity, or have like an electrolyte pack or something like that. And rehydrate following exercise to replace the lost fluid during exercise. And then set a goal. How much water are you going to drink each day? How are you going to accomplish this goal? And how are you going to track your progress? This is the best way to reach those goals, is by actually setting them. And here are some references if you want to screenshot that and take a closer look at my recommendations. All right. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful, and it encourages you to stay on top of your hydration. Thanks for joining me.